underway in Game 2 of the first-round series between the Cavaliers and the Bulls. Just over 2 minutes have gone by, and the Bulls holding a 5-3 lead on the Cavaliers. Cleveland beset by injuries. Their normal starting front line, Nance, Doherty, and Hot Rod Williams, unavailable for play today. It's a mix and match lineup for Mike Fratello, but they've been hanging tough against the favorite Bulls, and Rod Higgins hits for the Cavs to tie the game at 5.
That's a very good start for Higgins. 1 for 6 in Friday night's game. He and Mark Price didn't get it done offensively as the Cavaliers struggled.
Horace Grant, his outside shot goes, and the Bulls reclaim a 2-point lead. First bucket for Horace.
Horace Grant has basically played your perfect ball game, dominating defensively, hitting jumpers.
Mark Price with an acrobatic shot, and Price, the key man for Cleveland today, held to only 9 points on 2 of 11 shooting in Game 1.
Price certainly capable of that type of play. Chicago should send guys at him, though.
Scottie Pippen can't get the roll. Hill with a rebound for the Cavaliers.
Hill, very solid rebounder.
Tough catch for Phils, but he makes it. He's checked by Pippen. Bobby Phils getting a start in that makeshift Cavalier lineup. Only the backcourt, Wilkins and Price intact, and Wilkins lost it but was fouled. Well, earlier, before the rest of you joined us, there was an alarming incident as B.J. Armstrong driving on Mark Price. Foul will be called on Price, but continuing this trend of violence in the NBA, Price and Armstrong square off. Double technicals were called, and the two were separated, but becoming the norm in these first-round playoff series.
No place in basketball for any of that. Initial elbow thrown by B.J. Armstrong that time.
Stolen. Myers has it for the Bulls. 3-on-2 break. Pippen couldn't control. Grant put it home.
Big guys running on the break. 4 guys involved that time. Horace Grant is the trailer. If you can't make it, make sure you at least make contact with the rim as Pippen did.
Bulls by a deuce. Here's the double team of Wilkins. Leaves Phils open. Higgins inside, lost it, got it back, lost it again. Pippen leads the break.
Tremendous defensive strategy by Chicago.
Scottie Pippen with a 3. Pippen coming off a 31-point, 12-rebound Game 1, puts the Bulls up by 5. Timeout Cleveland. It comes with 7:32 left in the first period, and Chicago up 12-7. 7.5 minutes left opening period with the Bulls up 5 on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Welcome to Chicago Stadium with the big redhead here. Almost pressed into service by Mike Fratello. So thin are the Cavaliers currently. And no question in their condition, Mark Price is the key figure in the game.
But what Chicago's strategy is going to be is to force Mark Price to give up the ball. The double team, that's what they're going to do each and every time. Price has got to either split it, throw bounce passes by it, because Chicago, when their defense is key in their fast break, they are incredibly tough to beat. Horace Grant never gives up on the play, finishes strongly.
Game 1, a subpar performance for Mark Price. He has 2 points to open this game. But the Bulls have stepped up the defense. In fact, they've forced Cleveland into 4 turnovers over the last 2.5 minutes. Price.
3 guys on Price that time.
Got it to Higgins, to Phils, and Bobby Phils hits to draw Cleveland 2 closer. First basket for Phils.
Chicago's strategy is to make somebody else other than the backcourt guys, Price and Gerald Wilkins, beat them. Let's see what these normally second-string players can do.
Wennington has replaced Longley in the pivot for the Bulls. Beautiful move by Scottie Pippen.
What we've seen and what they can't do, and that's block Scottie Pippen's shot as he soars to the hoop.
Pippen and Price collide. And we'll wait for the call from Jake O'Donnell. It's on Scottie Pippen.
Price down the lane. Pippen steps in a little bit late. Good call by the officials. Of course, the partisan crowd here does not like it, but that's the rules of the game. You can't step in late after the guy's already made his move.
First foul on Pippen. Price to Higgins.
Every time Price touches it, there's a second, often a third guy right there.
Yeah, everybody comes flying at him. Wilkins got rid of it to Higgins, and another foul call. Pippen called for his second in the space of only a few seconds. So Pippen has his second foul with 6:44 left in the opening period.
Gerald Wilkins, very strong opening night performance. 22 points.
And in the absence of a good scoring game from Price, it was Wilkins that really kept the Cavs in it, and they were in it until the fourth quarter when the Bulls behind Pippen finally pulled away. And here's one of the key figures in that game one, Tony Kukoc replacing Pippen. Kukoc came in game one at the end of the first period, had an assist for a basket off the break. To start the second quarter, had 3 straight buckets, one of his best performances, and for a change, heard cheers from the crowd here at Chicago Stadium.
The Bulls, they have a habit of playing just well enough to win a lot of these games. Phil Jackson, a little upset that the team didn't come out with more intensity. He feels they're a little overconfident with this depleted Cavalier team.
Kukoc touching the ball for the first time to Myers. Outside shot, good by Pete Myers of the Bulls.
The dribble handoff, always effective against pressure defense. Both teams shooting remarkably well. Chicago just getting more shots caused by their better defense.
Pete Myers 2 for 2 to open the game. Full court pressure from the Chicago Bulls. Price beats it with a dribble.
Price so quick.
And got open for the three. Rimmed out. Phils off the offensive board. Had it batted away. Goes back up and got the roll. Bobby Phils.
Phil Jackson went to his bench so early that nobody really had a chance to get warmed up as the Bulls embarrassingly can't even inbound the ball.
Well, Gerald Wilkins was picking up full court, causing the Bulls to take a 20-second timeout because they could not get the ball inbounds.
The scrambling defense that Chicago is employing will open up all kinds of offensive rebounding opportunities for Cleveland. If they can take advantage of it like Phil's did that time, they'll be just fine.
Well, you know, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mike Fratello has seen Nance, Doherty, and Williams all go down with injuries, and the lineup he puts on the court is like trying to match. Brad Doherty also over there on the bench in street clothes.
Not only do I not have suits like that, Tom, I don't have that many socks to mix and match either. I buy as I go or get them from the trainers at each stop along the NBA tour.
And yet in the face of adversity, the Cavaliers playing hard in game one. And Grant will get the roll on that one. Soft touch, and Horace Grant has hit all 3 of his shots.
Horace Grant playing a beautiful game, perfectly under control. What the Bulls aren't doing, though, is calling out the picks in the backcourt as the Bulls get called for an illegal defense.
Higgins leveled Myers to the chagrin of the crowd.
The dribble penetration, Kukoc heavily favors that left hand. They force Kukoc right. Grant doesn't get any opportunities like that.
Actually, they took the basket away from Grant and gave it to Kukoc on a tip. So Kukoc got credit for that last basket as Weddington goes out, replaced by Scott Williams.
Phil Jackson has used his entire lineup basically in the first half of the first quarter.
Price spots Wilkins at the arc. Gerald Wilkins' second tray of the game. 8 points for Wilkins, and the Cavs within 2.
Gerald has been working very hard on his outside shooting. Feels it's the key to his ultimate survival in this league as his career winds on.
3-point field goal shooting good. All the shooting has been good here in the opening quarter. 5 minutes left. A 3 from Myers. That one didn't look good. Price saves it to Hill.
Price is one of those guys who just knows where the ball is going all the time, much the way Magic Johnson used to play.
Split the double team, high off the board, no good for Mark Price, and Williams with a rebound.
Even though it looks like a force, he has got to do that because he's not going to get good looks time and time again at the hoop. Nobody else out there to take the defensive pressure off of him.
Double team of Grant on the low post, Kukoc on the drive. Williams works his way to the hoop. It'll count, and a Cleveland foul. Scott Williams was a key figure in game one as he had a career playoff high 21 points.
Cleveland is normally an outstanding shot blocking team, as Williams apparently travels on his way to the hoop, but referees decided that was a foul instead.
Look at his career this season, 7.6, his highest scoring average, as he's gotten quality playoff time. He's spent 3 years as a pro, and he has 3 championship rings to show for it. He's been bothered here in the playoffs by esophagitis, a stomach ailment that sent him with a tube down his throat before game one. He's on a special diet now, and it seems to have straightened out the problem for the most part. The only thing bad about it, he says, is no chocolate.
Fortunately, you don't run on your stomach.
Scott Williams had a big performance game one.
Bills, excellent defense by Chicago. They're going to do anything they can to make somebody else bring the ball up the court. You got Price, you got Brandon out there. They're expert ball handlers. Phil's not quite in that level.
And Kukoc with the good defensive play. Phil Jackson was saying that Tony Kukoc generally feels that if he makes a bad play, he's going to come out of the game. And Jackson told him, only if you make a bad play defensively. And he said the result has been that Kukoc has become a much better defensive player. JoJo English handling the ball for the Bulls. Armstrong cut off.
Cleveland playing very good set defense in their own right. Just not with the shot blockers inside that they would normally have.
Kukoc for 3. Grant can't get the follow down. And Kukoc is fouled. Tony Kukoc hitting the offensive board.
The Bulls just relentlessly pounding away with the superior advantage they have, size and strength. Kukoc manhandled, shying away a little bit from the contact there.
Bulls have out-rebounded the Cavaliers 4-1. Kerr into the game, offensively 4-1. English misses. And the Cavaliers a chance to cut that 5-point lead.
Forcing guys to take difficult shots.
Brandon against Kerr. It won't go. Horace Grant with another board. He has 4.
Horace Grant continues to dominate. He's usually matched up against guys like Larry Nance and John Williams. Although Tyrone Hill is a quality player in his own right.
Williams got around Mills and missed the layup. Brandon walks it up court against Kerr. English went for the steal, committed a foul.
Chicago's depth at all positions allows them to get so aggressive defensively, really set the tempo. Phil Jackson can just look up and down the bench and really go 10 or 11 deep.
He's gone 10 deep here in the first quarter. Only John Paxson and Bill Cartwright have not played.
The 2 guys who have been here since the beginning, who are still here. They're the guys that know the triple post offense from its inception.
Wilkins hits the free throw, and as Bill Cartwright looks on, the Chicago Bulls call a timeout. Chicago up on the Cavs 21-17. Bulls leading the Cavs 21-17, and there you see the front line of the Cavaliers in street clothes for today's game. We asked B.J. Armstrong of the Bulls if that made it tough to get ready to play them.
I tell you, when you come to this time of the season, anyone that's not wearing a Bulls uniform is the enemy right now. So if they have guys hurt, that's part of this game, and you have to stay hungry. You have to have the aggressive attitude of, you know, when someone's hurt, you got to take advantage of it. So now we have to be even stronger now as far as our mental attitude of preparing for them and being ready to take them out and deliver the blow that's really going to eliminate this ball club.
A baby-faced assassin, B.J. Armstrong, and he already is squared off in this game against Mark Price.
Championship-level teams are not just satisfied with winning ball games. It's how they play. The Bulls, dissatisfied with Friday's performance, they want to come out with a very strong performance tonight. They're looking good. Cleveland's hanging tough.
Wilkins hits the second free throw. He has 10 of Cleveland's 18 points. Jump hook, Scott Williams.
It seems as if Chicago can do whatever they want up front. Scott Williams, Horace Grant just pounding the boards, tipping it in, jump hooks.
Mark Price on the bench for the Cavaliers at the moment as Wilkins tries to take up the scoring slack and is short on that one.
Pick and roll.
Stripped from Kukoc. Brandon with a runaway. Terrell Brandon lays it in, and then suddenly it's a three-point game.
If you can get Tony Kukoc going to his right, you've done your job defensively.
Outside, Steve Kerr won't go, and a loose ball foul called on Scott Williams of the Bulls.
A moment ago on Kukoc's pick and roll drive into the lane, you got to learn to protect that ball a little bit better. More time spent on your offhand will serve you quite well.
Back to the free throw line, one on the penalty for Tyrone Hill. Hill from Xavier, a Cincinnati native that went to hometown Xavier in his fourth year in the NBA. 6'9", drafted in the first round by Golden State in 1990. And he's been forced to really come on with the absence of the big guys for the Cavs.
And he's responded. Last 3 games, tremendous production. He's a guy who's suffered through a number of injuries himself this year. Hurt his knee against the Knicks and tore his thumb up a little bit. Thumb injuries. Remarkable how extensive they are in the NBA.
That's the first point for Tyrone Hill. He does have 3 rebounds. It's 23-21. Here's a whistle away from the ball, and illegal defense called on the Cavaliers. That's their first. So Fratello's team will get the warning this time. Next results in a technical foul, and Tim Kempton in the game for Cleveland as Fratello forced. He only has 10 men available, and he has gone deep into his roster in the first period as well as Phil Jackson.
The versatility of the Bulls showing here. Basically all of them good ball handlers, good sense of the game, nice passes.
Nice pass that time from Kukoc, who hits Grant for the slam, and Horace has 8 points.
Cleveland's not really doing enough defensively to force Chicago out of things, force them to stand still and dribble to make their own shots.
The 2 marquee players of this game, Scottie Pippen and Mark Price, residing on the Pine at the moment as Kempton comes up short on a 15-footer. Chris Mills with the offensive board. Just over a minute left in the first period from Chicago Stadium.
Don't know why they don't just double team right there. The same strategy is going to apply with Mark Price as it does to Gerald Wilkins. Kukoc driving again to his right. Cleveland doing a good job there. When you allow a guy to drive the lane and then just throw a ball right underneath to a guy for a dunk, you're not getting it done defensively.
You think Horace's glasses are 3D? I'd like to peek through those sometimes. They look like 3D glasses to me.
I remember when he used to not wear them because he didn't think he looked good out there. And he also didn't like the fact that Barkley kept trying to slap him off his face.
I think those glasses enable him to see through defenses. He just right through them. He, as you said, has had a near perfect game to begin this contest as Wilkins again nails a free throw. He has 12 points.
You don't have glasses like that in your wardrobe, Tom?
I need them. If they work for him, I'm getting them. 2-point game. Final minute of the first period. Kukoc penetrates. Back to Kerr for the 3. Penetration. Kick it to the open man.
Kerr, of course, spent a number of years with Cleveland early in his career. Nothing's better than beating the teams you used to play for.
He was for Cavaliers from 1989 to February of '92, Steve Kerr, who just collides with Mills.
The swarming defense.
Another board for Horace Grant. That's 5. Bulls will hold for the final shot of the period. No, they won't. English. For 3. They'll take it.
Whenever you shoot quickly off that initial penetration, you're so much better off rather than standing and waiting.
Kempton leveled Grant with a pick. And the shot was not gotten off before the quarter ended. A nearly flawless opening quarter for Horace Grant. He hit 4 of 5 of his shots and pulled down 5 rebounds. And though Scottie Pippen picked up 2 quick fouls, the Chicago Bulls lead at the end of one, 31-23.